You're listening to Mr. Allard's Neighborhood. Small town feel with big time ideas. After all, you are entitled to Brad's opinion. Here's your host, Brad Allard.
Hey everybody, how y'all doing today? This is a very special show. We're a very special group. I have two local legends here in the local legend studio. Lori Dias, Patsy Dumas, probably the two best known people in Burleson practically. So there you go. You're laughing over there.
Thank you, Brett.
No, this is going to be a great show because it's the Burleson Opportunity Fund, and it's one of the best things we do in this community. And as a Hill College adjunct and have been since 2003, when did this program start? About 2007, roughly?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. I have probably taught at least 200 or 300 students over the last 2 decades, roughly, that were on the BOF. And like I was just kind of talking the other day, or today, not today, get it right, silly boy, Wednesday, with my class I was teaching then. And I asked how many of them were BOF, and about 3 of them raised their hand. About half that class actually is in the early college program. Mm-hmm. But I asked that question to my night class Tuesday night, and there were about, this is a smaller class, about 4 were BOF. And it's one of the very best things any community ever does. And I tell you, I talk to other people about it outside this community and say, this is what we got going on. I'm like, how in the world do y'all do that? Well, we got people like y'all that make it happen.
That's right.
And
that is right.
And it's amazing. They're like, I wish our school system did that, or our community did that.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. I hear it all the time.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
So we're going to talk about the fundraising breakfast coming up. We're going to talk about what BOF does. Hopefully, if you're listening out there, you'll also get to know where to find out this about your child. I was telling a lady about this in my networking group this summer, and she already knew about it, and she was like, "You don't understand how much money you're saving us, because
that's right.
If you weren't able to do this, he'd probably be going to Hill, but a lot longer time frame. He's able to take a full load because of this. He's a graduate of Centennial." And he was able to do it, and take 15 hours as opposed to just taking 6. And so he can get his degree quicker. Mm-hmm. So anyway, we're going to run through the sponsors real quick, and then we're going to just jump right on in. Awesome. All right. First of all, of course, everybody knows Otto. Otto, get better. I know you've been sick. We texted yesterday some.
Yes.
He's got the COVID.
Got the COVID.
Yeah, right. But I was there at our place yesterday morning and ran into his son, Ryan, who runs the place. And, Otto is kind of like the maitre d', the celebrity who walks through the room. But
for years.
Yeah, Ryan runs the place. And I asked how he's doing. He's doing better. He's recovering, and he's probably going to be up and running by the weekend or Monday at least. So he's okay. But we have every other Thursday morning, the men in my Sunday school class get together to solve the world's problems. And at least we analyze them. I don't know if we solve them. But, or we talk football. Stuff like that.
Important stuff.
Yeah.
Of course.
Important stuff.
It's and it's also
this time of year.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, we're all college football fans, so that really makes a big difference. But also something else I want to bring up with Gina's. Gina's Pizza is going to be not sponsoring. What's the word for it? Hosting. That's the word. Hosting us next Thursday for North Texas Giving Day. And right now I have 11 groups that have signed up.
Oh, great.
Yeah, and so what's going to happen is they're going to come and sit across the table from me, or maybe Camille Bransom's going to do a couple of pinch hitting rolls while I go out there and schmooze. And we talk about what they've got going on for about 10 minutes. Most of these are familiar with. Harvest House will be there. Promises Community will be there. Crazy Eights, Next Step. I got a new one. Crowley House of Hope will be there.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Oh, Elizabeth Becker runs a really good program over there. And so anyway, what's going to happen is we're going to just kind of rotate through, and Otto's going to be there, being the big shot, and probably have some breadsticks for us or something like that. That's the kind of community Burleson is. We have a lot of business leaders like that, and you're probably going to tell us about a few of these that support the BOF. Also, thank you to Wild Cigar and Culture. I'm just thinking y'all are not cigar smokers.
No.
But if you know anybody that is, it's a good place to get them a gift or a gift card. We got the holidays coming up. It's a good place to go and do business. They have a conference room there. They have a bar that's very nice. That's not like some roadhouse or anything. It's very nice. And so you can go there. I've gone there for sponsor care, if you want to call it that. And people are there doing business, either individually on their laptops or in groups or whatever, it's a good place to do it. And they're also good community sponsors. They give a lot of gifts to charities and raffles and auctions, whatever. Our friend Alex Phillips says, "Good morning, ladies." See you right there on the screen. There you go. There you
Good
go.
morning, Alex.
All right, yeah, he's been on.
Hey, Alex.
Yes, we're going to be hard pressed to replace him if he ever gets poached from us from some big city outfit.
Don't even mention that.
Yeah, don't even put it out there. That would be not good. Okay, here I am trying to share this. This is a part of the comic relief of the show when I'm sitting there trying to share all the, with the various platforms here, and they have a lot of fun with it. Also, thank you to Old Pro Roofing. Now, I'm sure you're familiar with them.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, Old Pro Roofing has been here about 20 years. I know our late friend Matt
long
Aiken.
time.
You know, it's still kind of a sad story to talk about with Matt Aiken, isn't it? Matt Aiken.
Oh my goodness, yes.
Yeah, he's the founder of this.
Breaks
Yeah.
my heart.
Yeah, he's much too young for that.
He was a great young man.
He was a former student of mine, and I could tell he was going to be a lawyer in class because when he tried to negotiate with me about due dates or whatever else, so I knew what was going
Negotiate
on.
homework.
Yeah, that's right. Now, he's sure this homework needs to be done. Okay,
so
fine.
sad.
Yeah, but Old Pro really does a good job. John Williams here is part of my networking group, and he's a very fine young man. 817-734-2756. You need to get out there, and you need to know when your roof is leaking when it's sunshine and not when it's raining.
Right.
So get him out there. He'll go out there, and he'll tell you the truth about it. Yeah, he's done my roof inspection, come back down and said, "Yeah, you're good." Or he's done it twice. The first time he came back and said, "Well, there's a loose end go by the chimney," and I just nailed it back down, and that's about it, and that kind of thing. So you're not going to get
Someone you can trust.
yes, and we all want people that we could trust in that kind of situation. Alex also says he's not going anywhere. BTX has my heart.
Okay, Alex.
All right,
Good to know.
That's what we wanted to hear.
Yeah. Well, it's always interesting. The show, he doesn't tell me anything that isn't out there publicly. So even though we try to squeeze him for information, but he doesn't tell us anything, doggone him. Also, Jeff Kelly at the Wethington Agency, Jeff Kelly Realty, 817-781-0546, 817-720-6300 is his office. Jeff at jeffkellyrealty.com. Now, you'd probably know Jeff.
I do.
Okay, who do you work for, Real? He won't mind a shout out.
That's okay. All City Real Estate is my brokerage.
Okay. And so, I know the real estate community in Burleson is kind of like a little fraternity, so to
We
speak.
are. We also meet every Thursday at Otto's, our place.
Yeah, we see them. They come in right after us.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we see them setting up as we leave. We leave about 7:30 because some of the guys have jobs.
Yes.
And so here comes, I see them coming in.
Sure.
A couple of people I know. And so do you go there to that meeting?
Yeah,
as
I don't
well?
get to go as often as I'd like just because I have a busy, crazy schedule. But yes, we do love the fact that Otto allows us to do
Oh,
that.
yeah. Well, that's Otto. What can you say?
Oh, of course. And his parents before him.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Great
Yes,
story.
Yes.
Well, as far as the Burleson Opportunity Fund, you said it started in 2007. Now, when did y'all join it?
Well, I was not on the board when it originated. I do know a little bit about the beginning, and it's something that I'm very proud, as you have said, and so elegantly, that how proud we can be of Burleson and the Burleson Opportunity Fund. The first that I heard of it was there was a meeting of, I don't remember who all was in it, mayor, city manager, and they were talking about things for the community. And the subject came up of why can't we get people who graduate from Burleson High School, which that's the only high school we had at that point, to go get their education and come back to Burleson to work and play and live. Well, the meeting grew on and on and on, and I believe they had more than one meeting, and it was established that if we could have some way to present higher education to the students that graduated, they would not even leave Burleson if we could originate something with Hill College, and at that point, Texas Wesleyan at the same time. So as time went on, and I don't think it took very long, the origination happened and the board was set up and we started fundraising. Well, the first I heard of the fundraising, I was the chair of the Character Council in Burleson at that time. So I invited Ken Shetter, our mayor, to come and speak. Well, it just so happened that I was so involved with my thoughts about the Burleson Opportunity Fund and wanted to help in some way and wanted to be on the board So I went to that meeting with $500 to give for a scholarship. Well, Ken informed us in his speech that they really didn't want $500. They wanted $1,500 scholarships.
Right.
So that kind of blew me back in my chair. And we listened to him, and he gave us a good speech, told us a lot about it. We were establishing mission, purpose, goals, and all of those things at that time, or they were, and he left. So I went ahead and carried the meeting pretty much throughout, and I said, listen, folks, sitting around this table, I came here with $500 for a scholarship. Now I found out that that doesn't work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask if the people sitting around this table would be willing to chip in, and we could come up with a $1,500 scholarship. Well, Kelly Cunningham from the city was there, and she kind of latched on to everything that we said and did, and the money that we gathered was $1,500. She goes back and tells Ken, and then Ken is just elated at what happened at that meeting. So on and on and on, it developed into where we are today. And we're so proud of Burleson and the things that we've been able to do, meet our goals, use our mission and our purpose to better our community, plus the students. And I wish we could tell exactly how many have gone through our program. And that influenced also the ones that went through Texas Wesleyan. Of course, we don't have Texas Wesleyan anymore, but now we are associated with Texas Tech. But back to that first meeting and the things that came out of it, lots and lots and lots of people, not just the students, but the families have been benefited so much.
Absolutely.
And one of the things that you said, Brad, earlier to us is that over the years, through the communities that surround us and people that we meet along the way, our county, every time we meet with some of those people, just in passing, they'll say, the mayor, I don't know how many times the mayor of Cleburne came to Beverly or myself, and you probably, Lori, would you help us establish what the Burleson Opportunity does in Cleburne? Well, yeah, we'd be glad to. And we go and we meet with them, but guess what?
Well, they find out how hard it is.
They found out there's a lot of work, and there's a lot of steps, a lot of phone calls, a lot of laying awake at night, thinking, how are we going to do it? We have to raise some money. And it never happens anyplace else except Burleson.
Well, I think we have two things going for us. We have a very generous community, and we have y'all. I mean, ladies and men that are willing to work for the good of the community. And that's not every community has that. You know, it's a lot of communities, you know, may have a couple of charitable outfits and whatnot, but they don't have the structure. It seems like I've been sitting in this chair. I've told this many times on the air. I sit in this chair and I talk to Harvest House. I talk to Promises. I talk to Next Step. I talk to the Center for ASD. And I don't know any other community that has that kind of, support system. That's what you're going to see that next Thursday. I mean, this is going to be one after another of people who give their time and effort. And then, but we also have a community that's willing to donate. Now, you know, the times are tough and all this, and I'm sure you're hearing this now.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, right. All the groups are, you know.
Yes.
I talked to Jennifer Woods about the Harvest House. They are a part of our BNI group, and the young man who's now like their general manager, Garrett Roper, do you know him by any chance?
Yes, I do.
Okay. He's saying, you know, people are wanting and they're giving some, but they're having to cut back somewhat.
It's tough right now.
Yeah. And that's why I think the BOF is as important as anything we've done before, because in some ways, some of these guys won't be going to class, or at least they'll just take one or two classes as opposed to more full load.
That's so true.
Yeah, and what happens with my experience as an educator is if they're taking like 6 hours a pop, they start off really, really wanting to do this, but after the third year, they really get bogged down, fatigued, and they think, well, I'll pick it up later and go work more.
Feels too strong.
Families come along.
Yeah, and so I'll just go get back and get my degree later, and some of them don't. And they won't be able to do it on our dime, so to speak.
Right.
So
there's a time frame on that.
Yeah, It's far, so I think that that the people of Burleson should realize how fortunate they are. And by the way, this is one thing I did not know until our last meeting. I thought it was strictly BISD graduates, but no, it's people in the BISD school district, regardless of where they graduated or if they were homeschooled.
Yes, even homeschool.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and I did not know that. I thought it was strictly BISD people, but I understand why you want to open up to everybody because they pay taxes, right?
Right.
Yeah, they're trying to build a community, and they're, homeschooling so much bigger than it used to be.
And,
It is.
it did enlarge when we added Centennial High School as well.
Well, plus you have Joshua, you have Kleber, and that back up to us that are still BISD.
Yes,
You know,
they live there,
students,
but
yes.
they live in our district.
Exactly.
That's exactly right.
So that opens up that opportunity
And
for them.
our Burleson district is it's the largest landowner. I think I'm still right on this. In,
I don't know about that.
In Johnson County.
I wouldn't doubt it.
I believe it is now.
It's a big one.
Well, I can
big.
tell you as a realtor, there's a number of people who want to move into Burleson
Yes.
because many of them, not everybody, but many of them have heard about the program.
Yes.
And they want an opportunity for their students,
Yes.
their children, to go to BISD schools and have heard about the BOF.
That's a really interesting point. I never even thought about that because you in the real estate business.
Yes.
And Jeff does, Shandy does. I've asked them, tell me the things that they bring them to Burleson. It's schools, police, and things
Safety
to
is-
do. Yeah, it's
Yes.
things to do.
Activities, safety, and school.
Right. And I'm sure when you're showing a prospective buyer here in the Burleson area and they have children in this system, that's a nice card to throw down, isn't it?
Oh goodness.
Well,
yes.
I can't steer or I can't encourage that. But what I can do is when a client says, I want to look only in the Burleson ISD. I've heard about the program, or
Right,
other people
right,
have shared the program information. So only put my search in for, and I can do that, on the MLS. I can search for strictly BISD
Sure.
schools.
Well, if they come in and look
And
at
that's a big help for
It
you.
is.
Well, yeah. But if they don't know the program, but they said I want to have my kids in BISD, that's still something you can say. Well, here's an added benefit for it. I don't think there's any conflict of interest there. But that's because we want all our business people to say that.
Right.
That's what
And a lot of people do their own homework on the ratings of the schools anyway. So
What's
that's one of the
offered in
first things.
communities.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, and the donors that we have for the BOF, I mean, they're doing it out of the goodness of their heart. They're doing it because they love this community, but they have to know that's going to be good for their business because the more people come in, the more people shop or
Absolutely.
buy or whatever.
Absolutely.
And honestly, I very seldom am I in a large crowd that someone doesn't say, my son, my daughter received a sponsor, a
Especially
scholarship.
now, since they've had a chance. If you think about it, we've been active for quite a long time. So you've got some kids that might have been in third or fourth or fifth grade
Yes,
that
yeah.
have graduated, gone to Hill College, gone on to finish their degree, and have now come back and are giving back to the community as firefighters, as nurses, as teachers,
Oh,
as
yes.
assistant principals.
great.
It's
yeah.
amazing.
Yes, when I moved here in I didn't move here. I started teaching here in 1988. I moved here in 91. Burleson basically had very little to offer a young family.
Right.
And so throughout the 90s, as I was teaching in the high school, very few of my students that graduated and saw themselves coming back to Burleson. They saw themselves maybe living in this area, but
Right.
they didn't see themselves living in Burleson because
Well, the opportunities weren't there. Like they are now.
the housing situation wasn't there, and all on and on. And now, towards the end, and I've been retired since 16, but I still teach a lot. I still do at Hill. They see themselves staying in this area,
They do.
and
Well, I think they have the purpose of coming back.
well, you have it open right there. So
Yeah.
Yes.
the mission
Absolutely.
is right there.
Yeah.
So, what you tell us what the mission is?
Okay, our mission, I'll just read it because I don't know it by memory.
No, that's fine.
And it is great. Our mission is to change the expectations of students, teachers, and parents to include the idea that all high school graduating from Burleson graduates from Burleson will have the opportunity to attain higher education and to cultivate the economic development benefits. There's Alex, of expanding the attainment of post-secondary degrees and career certifications. That's just an awesome mission. And the parents, goodness, they appreciate it so much.
Very
I don't
much
know
so.
what we can't ever let this go. We have to, we're obligated.
Well, it's a calling. It's not just
is.
an opportunity. It's a calling now.
Yes.
It's not like, having my wife's family all with preachers and missionaries. I know that term, and calling can be sometimes tough, but y'all have done so well on this. And now, you showed us some stats earlier.
Yes. Would you like to
Taylor will throw them
bring
up there.
that page up?
Yeah, there it is.
The stats are absolutely incredible.
Right.
You know, you can see 96% of all of our dollars that we raise go back directly into funding the scholarships. That's
Because of you,
unheard. Well,
the way
thank you.
you pinch pennies
Right, I mean,
at the
we're-
breakfast.
Right.
Thank you, Miss Pat.
Yes, that's so true.
Well, we're going to get to the breakfast in a few minutes because that's like the big deal, isn't it?
It's the big deal coming up. It's our biggest fundraising event, yes. And so you can see the 96% in the center there that we are very proud of. And the Burleson Opportunity Fund has actually scholarshiped 2,280 students that have been awarded
we
our
did have that
scholarships to
number
date.
with us.
Yes, we have updated our numbers. That's exactly right. And then we are thrilled about the fact that our students achieve a higher grade point average than the state of Texas average.
Well, I think there's a lot of these kids that I deal with actually feel a bit of an obligation to do well because they know that some people sacrifice to get them there.
Yes.
You know, and I when I go to Hill, when I'm teaching at Hill, some kids still kind of wondering what they want to do and all that. And that's what good thing about Hill is because it
Gives them opportunity.
Yeah.
right, because when you're 18, you think you want to be a fireman or a right fielder for the Rangers like I did, or something like that.
But then reality says
Right, and then you say, I got to make a living here.
Real life comes along.
I'll be an astronaut. but as far as, but it gives them an opportunity to discover what they want to do. Because when I went to start at college back in 1980, I wanted to be a stockbroker, and then I found out what they did. I said, no thanks. And so this is really a good thing for us.
absolutely.
And
We're so proud of the police officers and the firemen, everyone, but those serving.
Teachers,
yes,
nurses.
teachers.
Yes. I have a story that from one of the parents that shared with me, and we won't bring any names into it, but it was a gentleman that had expressed, like, why should I donate to a student that I don't know? Because I am so proud of the fact that this community donates to students they don't even know and gives them an opportunity for higher education. And that's so deep. Well, this particular person had asked, why should I donate to a student that, students I don't even know? Well, interestingly enough, this person was in the hospital at some point a while back, and guess who the nurse was? A BOF student.
Oh my, how great.
And isn't that fabulous?
How great.
Even he was excited about. I mean, you see what I'm saying? So it comes back and feeds you what you have
Right.
fed to those students.
Well,
and it's amazing.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, that's okay.
I had something happen that's really interesting and great, kind of along those lines. But as you know, I have this packet in my car,
That's exactly
like you do. And I've gone to station 330 enough times that I've gone through the menu more than once. And Jesse is so gracious. I just think so much of Jesse.
Darling, he's
Well,
darling.
of course, I took a packet. I told him I want to bring this to you and started
the
talking about it.
sponsorship.
And the whole thing.
The whole thing.
And so I told him that I would be back with the packet, and he goes, "Yep, my daughter received a scholarship." I mean, I never would have dreamed because I thought he was new to town. No, he isn't. He was the manager of Cotton Patch for years.
Oh, wow.
But he's embedded in Burleson and doing a great job.
I think one of our
that's
students.
just a for instance.
It is.
So I did take a packet and everything to him.
That's awesome. I
And
think
if
one
he
of our
hears
students
this,
is
I'm giving him a shout out about his restaurant. So need a big sponsorship, Jesse.
but they do have great food. They absolutely do have
Well,
great food.
I've been told that. I need to go there.
Reasonable.
Well, my wife and I are
a great
homebodies,
place.
so I do a lot of cooking myself. But
you?
yes, I do. I do.
Well, you
the
can
most-
invite us over anytime.
Okay. Well, my wife thinks I'm
And
okay.
I love Robin.
Oh
your
yeah,
wife.
she works,
Yes.
or she's still at Southern Gym.
Oh, I know. She works for Southern
Well, one
Gym.
of our BOF students is also a waitress at Station
Oh,
330.
I think probably more than one. I'll bet you.
One that I know of that she mentioned to me the other day.
Yes. Good.
I know that towards the end, I know that Burleson ISD hired a couple of my former Hill students as teachers.
Oh,
I wasn't working with them because they were like elementary teachers and whatnot. But still, that's the kind of thing that happens. I know we had the golf tournament in June.
Yes.
And that was a hectic day for me. My house was flooded.
I remember. I remember that.
Yeah, and also we were supposed to be getting new floors and they're painting and all this other stuff. And then my daughter says, "Oh, the dryer machine, the dryer's out." And like,
Oh, good.
I was like, I feel
Don't
like
say what's next.
no, I didn't. I said I felt like Job there for a minute, but we got through it. But how did that go for us?
Oh, it went well. We had all the teams, I think, that we planned on. It was very well attended. We had lunch. I don't remember the income of
Everybody
it.
had a fabulous time.
It is.
Always
Yes,
very supportive.
always.
The income wasn't as high as it was the previous year, showing record as to, kind of what's occurring. But still, everybody that gave, every sponsorship, every bit of it is just greatly appreciated.
Yeah, and
and
Phil-
every dollar counts. And
Bill
so,
headed up the
Bill
golf
Anderson did.
tournament. And so much fun and camaraderie and community involvement.
And I noticed that as well, because there is like a community of activists, if you will,
yes.
in
Right.
this nonprofit world, and I've gotten acquainted with that, and they all seem to support each other's programs. You see quite often at some fundraiser for ASD, you'll see 3 or 4 other nonprofit leaders there, and vice versa. It's really
Right.
It's a really nice thing
I
to
love
see.
ASD.
Community effort, there's no doubt.
Yes.
Now the big one though comes up in October, which we're in charge of.
Yeah, October.
And
Thank you for reminding me.
I know it was really it slipped your mind. We have it coming up. Yeah.
I'm always the countdown, the calendar countdown.
Are you a detail fretter? You fret all on those details.
Absolutely.
Oh, good. Well,
More than me, and I'm pretty
Absolutely.
much that way. But that lady right there is the best.
And I do mean all the way down to napkins or forks or catering details and tablecloths.
Thanks, thank you cards while the breakfast is
Thank you.
going on. The students are in the room writing thank yous.
Yes.
well. So tell us what's going on.
Okay, you bet. You bet. First of all, our breakfast is October the 12th, 7:30 a.m. to 9 a.m. We get you out on time, so please don't worry about coming and not being able to make it back to work, because we're very adamant about getting you out in a timely manner. And you will get to see firsthand the students that this program is benefiting, because they are our servers. And they're so grateful. They wear 2 different color T-shirts, a red and a blue, I believe it is, for first and second year students.
I thought it was for Centennial and BHS.
He had told me first and second year.
Okay,
Jason
okay.
shared with me his first and second year. It
Okay.
just coordinates with that by chance. Yeah, yeah. And so we had a really, really great year last year raising funds. And is it okay to talk about
Yeah.
the amount that we? Okay.
Oh, yeah, about everything you like.
We raised roughly $365,000 at last year's
passed
breakfast.
our goal.
Yeah, absolutely. Do we feel that might be a little different? It might be this year. That picture might look a little different. However, we always send a letter out in June to everybody that has attended the breakfast from before, and it kind of starts generating. People start donating before they even get to come to the breakfast. So we're real grateful for that. We have our continued sponsors that also regularly reach out to us, and we reach out to them. We follow up with them on a regular basis. Miss Patsy makes tons of phone calls as
You
well.
have to.
Yeah.
Absolutely does. And so basically what it is we have a morning of a fabulous catered breakfast by Magdalena's Catering. Our students are the ones that will serve you. You have an opportunity to hear student testimonials as well as parent testimonials this year as to how this Opportunity Fund has helped them, has affected them, has changed the trajectory of their future, their careers,
Maybe
their
they
family.
couldn't have gone to college
Maybe
without
they could.
it.
That's exactly
Now,
right.
the speaker this year is a young lady named Kaylee Tesdall, right?
Yes.
I had her for both the classes I teach
yes,
there.
yes.
And her story is particularly special.
It's very special. She was the one who
looking
experienced
forward to that.
a car accident. I got to see her the other day when we were doing the photo shoot to get ready for it. And just a darling young lady. And one of the things she said to me, and I will try not to get choked up because it does choke you up when she says
Right.
it. She says the Burleson Opportunity Fund didn't even know her, because when you see things, you are names on a list, of scholarships and applications. She said they didn't even know me. They didn't have to allow me to go ahead and finish my degree. She said they actually didn't know if I was even going to live or not. And here I am. And she is so grateful. So it's going to be a very powerful testimony.
I really enjoyed having her in my class. Very sweethearted young lady. And,
Darling.
And a good student.
I think it'll be a highlight. To
Oh,
have
it will
her.
be. There's going to be some tears. Some of the
yeah.
ladies.
Yeah.
Her and I hugged and got teary-eyed then, so...
I didn't even know her, and I agonized over that wreck. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, yeah. And when it was brought to our attention as a board, without question, we said absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. Because like we talked about, there is a time limit on that. absolutely. We want her.
Unanimously,
We want her to be able to finish, and she has, and we are just absolutely thrilled. And we're thrilled to be a part of that history for her, or that future for her.
One of the first questions I get when I say, "Hey guys, what are you doing on?" It's October 10th. I keep forgetting. I got to keep that in my head.
10th, October. I said
10th.
my apologies. 10th.
I thought it was 10th.
It is. It's October 10th. It was 12th last year, so my apologies. Let's correct that. It's
Oh my gosh,
October
am I
10th.
saying the wrong day?
No, you've been saying the right date. It's the 10th.
I say, what, I say, here's what's going on. And the first thing I get is, well, what's the ticket cost? And I said, no. I mean, it's not going to cost me any money. He said, well, let's talk about that part of it.
Like a brick,
but it's going to be like pass the hat kind of thing in church. It's not going to be, there's no set fee. It's not like a $50 ticket to go sit at the table. You can give what you like at the end. And I believe Beverly Powell's going to get up there and give the ask.
Yes, she will do the ask. And we do have sponsorship levels. Is there, can we go ahead and put that back up on the screen for just a second?
No problem.
Here we have sponsorship levels that will tell you even how many positions or seats at a table that it might, allow you to have. You have your bronze sponsorship, which is your 500 to 1,000, and you would receive 2 seats at the breakfast. And for every one of these going up, you get an increased number of seats. You get increased exposure on your marketing for the program, for the PowerPoint presentation, for the posters that we have displayed throughout the entire sanctuary up at the church when we set it up. So this is a way, there's a QR code on this page, as well as a phone number and an email. But these sponsorship opportunities, we would love to have you join either one of these and be one of our sponsors. And you are displayed in the program that is also given out the morning of the breakfast. So it's a fabulous program. I don't know if you can see it from here. I don't know which direction to turn it.
This is the camera you're talking to. Right there.
That was the one. Okay, so here is a picture of the program, and it shows you many of the sponsors that we have had over the years. Okay, it shows you in different levels, so things will be in different levels as well.
Is this page available online?
It should be.
Okay.
Yeah.
Burleson Opportunity Fund does have a website.
Yes.
And so they can take the QR code right off the screen if they're watching on a computer or
That's
phone.
correct. And the website right here. And a donate website.
Right. And so here's the thing about donations that every one of my groups tell me is that they love the $10,000 sponsor. They'll take it every day. But what makes their organizations viable are the smaller donations. People are looking at the page say, I can give $10,000 or $900
Right,
even.
and everything as well.
Oh, yes. And
It all adds up.
and they all say what they base their whole budgets on and everything and their plans on are those monthly givers. And most of them have a kind of recurring charge on their credit cards for this. Does BOF have that?
Yes, we do. As a matter of fact, when you go to that opportunity to donate, there will be that
Taylor, can you whip that up
opportunity
real
to do
quick?
that as well.
Can you whip up the website? He's really good at that. So
Okay.
that
That would be great. And just the website itself is burlesonopportunityfund.org. This one is burlesonopportunityfund.com/donate.
And so you can just, like I do a couple. Well, I don't want to get into what I do because I do believe don't let the left hand know what your right hand's doing, like it says in Scripture, right? But it's...
Here you go.
Yeah, there it is. See, that's why he gets the big money
He
around
does.
here.
He's awesome.
Look at that.
He's awesome.
Oh, my goodness. Thank you, Taylor.
All right, and so is all the
And then
information?
now we'll start listing donors from the previous year or even some that have already given this year. Do you see?
Yes.
I know that the city and the school give some money, but that's only really a very small proportion. That's the private donors that make up the vast majority of it. And
Business and community.
yes,
Absolutely. And then you have a donate button down at the end, and you also have the donate button at the very top as well. And then there's some of the logos displayed for many of our top sponsors as you go.
I sat right next to a gentleman at the breakfast we had when we started kicking this whole program off about a month ago. There's McLean Foods. So
Yes.
Travis.
Travis Blackshire.
Yeah, we have a lot of bigger donors, but again, it's like church. It's like, I just have my widow's mites. I don't know if it's going to make any difference. But I also say, well, what was the response that she got for those widow's mites, right? And so the
Can't measure it.
yeah, right, and also that. It's a good way for people to donate money to directly invest in their community. And a lot of people don't have that opportunity.
They really don't.
It's like, all the charitable things are great and we love them. And this is another one, just like it. And but it's like you're really directly investing into the future of this town.
You really are. You absolutely. And our first breakfast was actually 2012 when you said you had first been asked to be in it. And so 2012 up to now, this will be our 13th breakfast, or 13 years that I've been doing the breakfast organization. And 1 year we didn't get to do it. COVID, of course.
Right.
Yeah.
We
So
did have a little...
We had a gathering, yes, down in the America
at the plaza.
Yes, we did down at the plaza. We absolutely did, and we still had some generous donations, even not being able to have our breakfast, of just our continuing sponsors and donors.
Well, just for drill, make sure that when people access this show later and they just kind of bounce around, fast forwarding through it. Tell us on the day of October 10th what they can expect.
Okay.
All right.
On the day of October 10th, again, thank you for correcting that. It wasn't the 12th. October 10th, 7:30 a.m. to 9 a.m. When you come in the doors,
Which doors?
First United Methodist Church of Burleson.
There you go.
590 Northeast McAllister.
That's your church, isn't
And
it?
it's still dark when you get there.
Yeah, right.
It's our church. We also have the Citizens on Patrol that help direct traffic because we also have a school bus drop off the students, and the students park a little farther down in order to be transported up there so we can save all the parking spaces for our lovely attendees and donors that morning.
So 7:30 at the Methodist Church on McAllister.
Yes.
Is when it's kicking off.
It's when it kicks off. So people start getting there 6:50, 7 o'clock. They love to stand around and socialize. Burleson is a very social community. So we all love to stand around and visit a little bit. And so there will be all the tables set up inside the sanctuary, and there will be 38 tables of 8. So we will have an opportunity for 302 attendees. And if we need more than that, I can absolutely jump in gear and add more. So don't ever let that limit you, okay? There is also opportunities to RSVP for the breakfast event, by the way, that morning. There's invitations that went out. They're also putting that on the website as well, so that there's a QR code to RSVP to come to that. Or reach out to myself. I don't mind giving out my phone number, 817-229-9195. And
One more time.
817-229-9195.
Okay.
Feel free to reach out to me. But the morning of the breakfast, you will be seated at a table of either your choice or with a name on the table for specific sponsors.
He's a table
He's a
sponsor,
table host,
so you,
yes,
a
yes.
host, so you should be
You got a
there.
full table maybe
Right
on
by
your
your
own.
I'd like to think so, but a lot of the guys, I'll get back to you later. I'm sure you hear this all the time.
We do.
We
do.
Press them.
Yeah.
You press them and insist that
Which
they're
is
there.
one of the things that makes it a little challenging for the RSVPs and for my head count for the caterer and things like that. But back to what to expect that morning. Once we sit down, we will have a welcome from our board president. She will welcome everybody that morning. Our pastor, Kylan Dobbins, our preacher at First United Methodist Church, will be the one that gives the invocation and the Pledge of Allegiance. Then the breakfast will be served. And then once you've had some time to enjoy that breakfast, we're going to do honoring our sponsors. I think we've got Victoria Johnson doing that this year. We're going to have a video of the Burleson Opportunity Fund that was created last year. It's not timed, meaning it doesn't have a year date on it. Last year was our first year to have it, and it is a fabulous visual of these students in the actual setting.
Well, I
of
need to show
learning.
that sometime then, because Taylor runs videos all the time.
Oh, yeah. We would love
It's
to get
very
that to you.
professional.
Yeah,
Fine.
I'd love to get
That's
that
not
to
a
you.
problem at all.
And then we will have our alumni, student testimonials, and parent testimonials. And then we will have the Ask by Beverly at the end of that. And there will be sponsorship cards on everybody's table, opportunities to give, opportunities to donate. So donation cards will be brought to you by the students themselves. We have a bit of a pomp and circumstance for them to come out at that point and bring all of the
It's beautiful.
baskets. It is.
Those
It
red
is.
and blue shirts.
It is so, it's moving,
So
very
they
moving.
sign the pledge cards. It isn't exactly like they need to just whip out the checkbook right then. They could pledge and then
They could pledge, and then we would send them an invoice. Kayla would send them in, our treasurer would send them an
We even
invoice.
have credit card
Yep.
ability.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And there is a QR code on the pledge card as well that will absolutely take
Don't
you
think
straight to our
everything.
donate.
We do.
Now, people hearing this, I want to get y'all. I know y'all got busy schedules today, so I got about 5 minutes left.
Okay.
People listening to this show or seeing it on Facebook or YouTube, how would they, if they don't get directly contacted, but they want a part of this, they want to be there.
I'll give my number too.
Where you got?
Okay, 817-991-7099 is my number. My personal cell number, Patsy Dumas, 817-991-7099. I love to receive the word that someone wants to sponsor. And I will say this while I have the mic. We do need and want and cherish sponsors. Please, if you're interested, give Lori or myself a call. And then if you have a table, if you're a table sponsor, be sure you RSVP your guest, because we want everyone to have a chair when they get there.
And these donations are tax deductible.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So it's not, I don't know if that's the motivating factor, but it doesn't hurt.
Right.
So I know one of the questions we get, I don't know if I'll get to it as fully as you like, but I do know that I get asked sometimes every now and then, even before I was on the board, how do I contact the BOF for this? Jason Hahn handles it for Centennial. I'm sure his counterpart at BHS does the same. But basically his job is to connect the graduating seniors with this. So every graduating senior is going to be contacted by y'all, by one of our representatives and somebody from BISD. So they'll come find you. And the application is just standard, get on there, fill it out, submit. And as far as the qualifications, I believe the first year, if I understand, they have to have graduated. The second year, they must have maintained a B average to get the second year. Is that correct?
Every semester after the first has to be a 2.5%. Has to be. Okay.
2.5 on the GPA.
2.5 on the GPA.
Okay, well, they should be able to do
And
that.
of course, at this time, those sponsorship levels and what the sponsorship students receiving those are already set, because we've already approved those.
Right. And so, and the approvals come out, I believe, in the spring, right?
Right. Towards the end of May, I want to say it is.
Right. And so it isn't like you're going to be hanging around waiting for all summer wondering what you're going to be doing.
No, just go online.
Yeah. And so...
and Jason's real good about emailing and contacting the students once they have expressed interest. And I know that it's generally, there's a deadline that will be set on when to apply, a deadline on when to get things in for that application, then the community service that you also have to be a part of. And this breakfast is a large part of the students working this. This is a large part of their community service as well. Okay.
Now, on the 19th, I've mentioned about the nonprofit show over Gina's Pizza. I'll handle the BOF segment, because I know y'all are very busy. How many hats do you wear, Patsy? I mean,
I'm on at least 6, 7 boards.
Well, and I know your real estate business is pretty tight. I mean, that's a good thing.
It is a good thing.
It's better than sitting around playing cards or something.
It gets me out of bed every morning.
But y'all are blessings to this community. I mean, and I mean that sincerely. It's I mentioned on the BOF, and they ask, who's on it, and I mentioned y'all and a couple others, and they go, and they always react when I mention y'all's names, and that just so y'all have made this town better. No kidding.
Well, we appreciate you being on our board.
Yeah, well, it's an honor. It really is. When Shandy asked me to do it, I'm like, are you sure about that? But,
when your name came in, we all went, yes.
Well, it's an advantage to be part of the Hill College as well as this.
Can I say one more thing?
Please.
If you are a board member on the Burleson Opportunity Board at this time, be looking for a phone call from me. If I don't reach you, I'll leave a message. Please call back and tell us how much you want to sponsor with this year. We really are in need of sponsorships. We're not scared. We know we'll raise the money, but we are only about halfway there at this point. And we need to raise a little over $300,000.
Well, that's pretty normal, though, isn't it? I mean, doesn't the bulk of the donations come in?
We're close.
We get a good number. We probably get 3/4 of our donations commitments before the breakfast. I don't know how much I should. I'm supposed to talk about dollar amounts, but we do have the majority of it come in because those commitments they make sponsorship level wise or donations. They are commitments, and then, of course, they have the opportunity to pay them anytime before the spring. So then more is given at the breakfast to some people who maybe didn't do a sponsorship level, but we've also had those that have sponsored that have been so moved by the event, by the students, by the testimonials, that have even taken out their checkbook and given more at the breakfast after giving at a sponsorship level. So it is a very heartwarming, very high energy morning at the breakfast, and then to physically see the people you're impacting, there's nothing like it. There's just, and Patsy and I have a passion for it, and we're grateful to be a part of it.
Before you leave, if you know that I'm at the mic, and I do plan to be there first, you will hear me say, it is a great day to be in Burleson, Texas. I always say that, and it is it's so true. We have a great giving community. We've even been quoted by the Star Telegram of what a passionate and giving community Burleson
We
is.
are. And we have a working board. We really do. We have a board of directors that is a working board. And so to be a part of that and to be a part of the BOF has been an
Yes.
honor for me.
Well, I'm
It is an honor.
inspired now to go recall some of my guys and say, hey, quit brushing me off here, but, I'll get back to you
Hey,
later.
we motivated you. Yay.
Yes.
And remind them that all they have to do is give us their word, and then by the end of the year, hopefully, or in the spring,
Right.
they'll be able to give us the amount that they've pledged.
Yes. Yes.
Well, I appreciate y'all being here.
Thank you.
Thank you for the
Thanks for
opportunity.
having
I hope
us.
this helps. Taylor, thank you for all your wizardry there.
Yes.
Always.
Thank you,
And
Taylor.
Alex for his comments.
And Taylor, well, there's going to be some other comments later, I bet. But thank you, Alex, for
Yes.
what you do for us and this program. All right, what's the schedule? On Monday, I'll be here. I'll be able to talk about the BF a little bit more, but I'm going to be talking about the election. That you don't.
Yeah. We don't want to be here for that.
No, you don't
go there.
no, y'all are neutral. I got it. I don't talk politics with guests.
No.
And then of course next Thursday, which we've been promoting pretty heavily already. So we'll see y'all then, and y'all have a good weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right.